So now we're going to take a look at how to strike the drum. Okay, now the drumstick needs to produce the maximum amount of resonance from the drum, which comes from letting the stick naturally rebound after making contact with the drum head. Okay, now this natural rebound is paramount to efficient playing and also getting a good sound. Okay, so poor grip or holding unnecessary tension absorbs some of the rebound, okay, which means you have to work harder and also reduces the quality of the sound. Now we have 5 types of stick stroke. The first is known as a full stroke. So we'll start with a full stroke in German grip. Okay, so if you hold the sticks in German grip, then what you want to do is you want to lift the stick in your lead hand up to a starting position of about 90 degrees. Okay, so it's perpendicular to the drum head. Now in this position, the wrist is extended. And then you want to slightly push down on the stick to start its descent down towards the drum head, okay, which is mainly dictated by gravity. And just before the stick makes contact with the drum head, you want to relax, okay, so relax the wrist and hand. Okay, now as it makes contact with the drum head, the wrist will be flexed. Okay, so you want to relax, and then as it makes contact with the drum head, you just want to let the stick return to its starting position. Okay, so just let the stick return naturally, and you just want to follow the stick back up. Okay, so let the hand follow the stick back to the starting position. Okay, so we got this. Now the full stroke can be played at different volumes, okay, and it all depends on the stick position you start at. So you can start at a lower angle, okay, so if you start here, about 60 degrees, that's going to produce a quieter full stroke, okay, so as we finish the stroke in the starting position, a full stroke enables us to play the following stroke at the same volume. And to play a full stroke in French grip, we do the exact same thing, but we just hold the sticks in French grip. Okay, so we start with palms facing inwards. Okay, so the sticks are parallel. We lift the stick in the lead hand up to about a 90-degree starting position. We push down on the stick, okay, to start its descent down towards the drum head. And then just before it makes contact with the drum head, okay, we need to make sure we relax and let the stick naturally return to its starting position, okay? So let the stick do the work, just follow the stick back up with your hand. Okay, so we push downwards and return to the starting position. Okay, so that's a full stroke in French grip. And in French grip, you can see we can't get that same amount of wrist extension or flexion as we can in German grip. Okay, so French grip gives us a more limited range of motion from the wrist. But as we'll see later on, it gives us more range of motion from the fingers. To play a full stroke in traditional grip, we want to turn the wrist anti-clockwise. Okay, and we also want to take the first finger and ring finger off of the stick to allow the stick to go to a starting position of about 90 degrees. So again, perpendicular to the drum head. Okay, so we open out like this. Okay, then we push down on the stick by turning the wrist clockwise to start the stick's descent down towards the drum head. Okay, as the tip of the stick makes contact with the drum head, okay, we relax and allow the stick to return to its starting position. Okay, so it comes all the way back up to 90 degrees. Okay, and as it returns to its starting position, we can put the first finger and ring finger back on top of the stick. The next type of stroke is a downstroke. Now when we play a downstroke, we play it in the exact same way as a full stroke, but when the stick makes contact with the drum head, instead of letting the stick return naturally to its starting position, we keep our hands still, okay, to stop the momentum of the stick, okay, so it only rebounds a small amount. So the stick finishes at position close to the drum head. Okay, so if we play a downstroke in German grip, we start in German grip, we lift the stick in the lead hand to a starting position of about 90 degrees again. we push the stick down slightly to start its descent down to the drum head, and then as it makes contact with the drum head, we keep our hand still, okay, without any tension. We don't follow the stick back up with the hand, okay, we just keep it still. Okay, so if we start here. So as we finish with the tip of the drumstick close to the drum head, a downstroke enables you to play the following stroke softly. Okay, now again, a downstroke can be played from any starting position. Okay, so if you start it slightly lower than 90 degrees, that's going to give you a softer sounding downstroke. And then we can do the same in French grip. To play a downstroke in traditional grip, when the tip of the stick makes contact with the drum head, we put our first finger and ring finger back on top of the stick to stop the stick returning to its starting position. The next type of stroke is a tap stroke, which is just a full stroke with a small starting angle. Okay, so we start close to the drum head to produce a soft note. Okay, so a tap stroke in German grip would be played like this. Okay, so we just raise the stick to a very small starting angle, so about here. Okay, we just play a full stroke from this position. And then a tap stroke in French grip. And in traditional grip. And then there's a slightly different type of stroke known as a buzz stroke. Okay, so to play a buzz stroke, we start with the tip of the stick close to the drum head. We relax the back three fingers. We lock the wrist. And what we do is we pivot from the elbow. Okay, and we press the stick with a bit of fulcrum pressure into the drum head, allowing the stick to bounce multiple times very quickly. Okay, to produce the sound of a buzz. Now the more fulcrum pressure we use, the less the stick will bounce. Okay, so if we use more pressure, the stick doesn't bounce as much. Okay, if we use less pressure, there's too much of a gap between the bounces, okay, so we don't get that buzz sound. So you need to find the right amount of fulcrum pressure to produce the sound of a buzz. Okay, so we can play a buzz stroke in German grip. And also in French grip. We can also play a buzz stroke in traditional grip by removing our first finger and ring finger from the top of the stick and pressing down with more pressure from the thumb. And the final type of stroke is known as an upstroke. Okay, so to play an upstroke, we start with the tip of the stick close to the drum head again. Okay, and what we do is we raise the hand leading from the wrist. Okay, so you can imagine a piece of string tied to your wrist and someone's pulling the string up. Okay, so we raise the hand leading with the wrist. So the wrist snaps. Okay, so it starts to flex. Okay, you see that? So we raise up and flex the wrist. Okay, so we lead with the wrist. And as that wrist snaps, i.e. it flexes, what happens is the stick will start to go towards the head and just touch the drum head slightly, okay? So it gives a nice soft sound. Okay, and we continue to raise the wrist and the hand and the arm, okay? And as it starts to come up, we start to extend the wrist, okay? So it finishes here with the stick pointing upwards. Okay, so we start with the stick close to the drum head. As we snap the wrist, okay, as we start to flex, the stick points downwards, it touches the drum head, we continue to raise the hand and the arm and the wrist, and as we come up, we start to lift the stick to point upwards. Okay, so we extend the wrist. Okay, so we got this. Okay, and we finish here ready to play a downstroke, or also we could play a full stroke. So we get this like whipping motion. Okay, so you just need to get used to this motion, raising your hand, leading from the wrist. And we can also play an upstroke in traditional grip. So again, you want to lead with the top of the stick. Okay, pull the hand up, and then as you reach the top, you just want to turn out to finish with the stick pointing upwards. Okay, so we've got that whipping motion again. Okay, so we